Welcome back to the Carolina 500 before the green flag flies. Let's go down for final thoughts with Jim Trado.
Well, guys, as part of the build-up here, Andy Hillenberg, the track owner, also owns a driving school. They put a car together, and they asked Ricky Rudd to drive it. In the field for at least this one more lap is a young man from West Palm Beach, Florida, Harold Champion, riding along with Ricky Rudd in car number 51, the 51st driver, and the proceeds from the auction went to United Way. What a great way to start back here at the Rock. Let's check in with Wendy.
Phil Parsons has mentioned tire management. Well, that's the talk in the garage area. When I asked Bobby Gearhart, he said cords were showing on some of these tires in 35 laps. Here in the 25 pit of Joey Logano yesterday in happy hour, they ran more consistent lap times and a longer lap time than anyone else to see how that tire management was going to be today.
Let's hope no one spins the tires. Green flag in the air. Yes, that's Tony Stewart giving them the green here at the Rock. He needs to stick to racing.
He's taken a lot of green flags. He's probably hasn't waved that many.
Hasn't given a lot. Joey Logano with a great start. Jumped out quick. Again, driving that number 25 Chevrolet out of the Venerini Motorsports stable.
We're going to see most of these drivers want to be on the bottom of the racetrack early on, but then they're going to be moving all over this racetrack.
Ricky Stenhouse in the 99. Dropped back to third.
It's the green and white car. That's the Stein seat car. Matt Carter on the outside of the 19 of Jack Bailey.
Matt Carter's our points series leader through 4 races of this season. Michael Annett right there behind Stenhouse and then number 28. Jack Bailey in the 19th. We're riding along with Matt Carter now.
It's Michael Annett right in front of him. Michael won this year at Daytona.
Now, early on, is it an invincible feeling when you've got fresh tires on a racetrack like this?
Well, there's nothing better than having new tires at a place like this, but that feeling goes away pretty quick. Right now, these guys have only run 2 laps, and they're already saying, well, I didn't have quite this much, you know, I was able to use more throttle in this the last time I came off this corner.
There's a battle for the 4th spot. Michael Annett on the outside of Jack Bailey in the 19. Again, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 99. He's currently in the 3rd spot. 2 other cars just in front of him.
Jack Bailey making an early move. He gets by the 99 of Ricky Stenhouse. Going to bring the pilot Toyota, Michael Annett, with him.
And right behind Ricky Stenhouse, that's 16 of Justin Allgaier. Joey Logano, we talked with Bill Venerini and Billy Venerini of Venerini Motorsports earlier. They were praising Joey Logano on how good he was at taking instruction as far as don't go out there and run 100% on every lap. Let's go about 80% to start off. Let's conserve those tires.
Yeah, you will not have any tires left on this car if you went out there and ran it absolutely as hard as you can every single lap. And that's something great for a young driver to learn is tire management. So many of the new racetracks like Kansas that we were last week have such good grip. They don't have that feeling of tires falling off, but you certainly get it here at Rockingham. You hear him pedaling that throttle. That's Matt Carter right there pedaling that throttle. That's the 18 of Billy Leslie right in front of Matt.
Yeah, Justin Lofton's running second. The hat was just showing a different number there, but it is Joey Logano that's leading. Lofton's running second. Third is Michael Annett. And I believe Jack Bailey is battling for that position, so those two could be swapping right now.
I think Jack Bailey was able to get by that 28 car of Michael Annett to take over the 3rd spot. Our leader left of your screen already lapping cars. There was a big disparity in speeds from 1st to 50th in this field. Joey Logano was very, very good qualifying. Pulls out to a pretty substantial, almost a 2.5 lead right now over Justin Lofton.
A very big field here at the Rock as well. Starting 50 cars. They had an interesting qualifying session. Everyone went at the first session, and then that locked in the top 25 starting positions. Everyone from 26 back could have re-qualified if they wanted to try to improve their positions up to 26, but only 8 cars tried to do that to improve their positions.
Yeah, and we were trying to determine when the last time that we had 2 rounds of qualifying. The best we could determine it was back in the late 90s. That's something that NASCAR and the ARCA RE Series both went away from, just went to a 1 qualifying session. So it was a nice, interesting twist here at Rockingham.
Justin Lofton trying to reel in that 25 of Joey Logano. Joey Logano's running pretty strong out there, isn't he, Wendy?
Yeah, he sure is. He's been pretty quiet on the radio so far, but before the race, I asked him, are you worried about this long race, a 500K, your debut in ARCA? And he said, what I'm most worried about is the difference in speeds, just like you were talking about up there in the booth. He was worried about how fast they were going to start lapping cars, and the fact that he was going to have to be careful with a lot of lap traffic early on. He doesn't have any experience in the ARCA series, and he's just trying to learn as he goes. Joey Logano playing it smart so far.
And a problem on the backstretch, cars sliding across the backstretch and the field beginning to catch up to them. And so as they continue to slide right in the middle of the backstretch, I saw Patrick Sheltra looked as though he was running well. We've got Michael Annett, Jack Bailey in there. Those two cars were running up in the top 3.
Scott Speed just came along there in the smoke, could not see, and hit Jack Bailey. Right there, that's the 2 right there.
There is Scott Speed.
That was 100% your fault. He told you to stop, but you ran right into him.
That was Slugger Labby.
Sluggers.
Kind of his coach and mentor a little bit. And there was so much smoke over there.
Yeah.
We saw from one of those camera views that you absolutely couldn't see anything. And there's a lot of banking on that straightaway, so it's self-cleaning. There's Justin Lofton right there. What a great run he had going. He was running second. See all the damage he has.
A lot of damage. You can't even see out of the windshield of that car right now as he's on pit road.
Second, third, and fourth place cars were all involved within that. Justin Lofton and the 19 of Jack Bailey and the 28 of Michael Annett.
And again, we'll try to get another look at it. But Phil, this is really a product of these cars catching up to the slower lap traffic and getting into traffic, because again, they were running 2, 3, and 4 in this group, but they weren't running next to each other. So obviously they were involved in a problem with some of the slower lap traffic. Jim Trado.
Guys, Scott Speed brought the car down. His crew chief, Patrick Donahue, was trying to assess the damage on top of the pit box. ARCA rules say you have to have a fire suit on to get over the wall, so he wants the car behind the wall, as he's not in a fire suit, to take a look at it. Heavy right front damage and right rear damage again on the Red Bull Toyota early on here. A lot of damage. They're trying to assess it now. They've already started to grab the tools. They've got an extensive amount of spare parts back here in the pit, so Speed has some work ahead of him, and they'll probably take it behind the wall.
Yeah, a lot of work that will need to be done to the right front of that car. Let's take another look at what happened here.
I think that was Joey Logano just
That's
going by. There's the 7 car, A.J. Hendrickson. He gets sideways. There's
and
James
it didn't look like there
Silk.
was anybody around him.
No, there really wasn't. Now look at the smoke there. These guys can absolutely see nothing. They're driving blind. You see Patrick Shelter locking the brakes up. There's a 0.5 hitting the inside wall. And watch these guys right here now. Absolutely can see nothing. That's Scott Speed right up in there. Just went into the smoke. And when he comes out the other end, he will make some contact, I believe, with the 19 of Jack Bailey.
I think you're right. And so Scott Speed involved in this one.
There's another. There's Jack Bailey, the black number 19. See, that's Ricky Stenhouse just easing by on the outside. Here comes Matt Carter. He's going to go between the 19 and the 28. And Scott Speed is also going to try to get through there, but he is not going to make it. Right there, pretty hard contact. Scott Speed into the 19 of Jack Bailey.
He was following some of those other cars, couldn't see Jack Bailey turn sideways. And so that put him into the side of the 19 and a lot of damage to the right front of that number 2 Toyota. Again, out in front of the field, Joey Logano. And amazing how the number 7 of A.J. Hendrickson, it looked like just broke free coming out of turn number 2 and got sideways.
We talked about turn 2 being the trouble spot. Very, very tight exit. There's some bumps down there in the bottom. You get that rear end, the hopping. He got sideways, and then just, you know, when one car makes contact, and it blocked everything off, Wendy.
Michael Annett, who started this race 4th, is now hitting pit road. He was involved in that accident. Now he does have damage on the left front fender. They're going to change tires. They will come around that left side and pull that left front fender. They're going to add some bear bond, lift the hood, and probably knock that fender out a little bit more. Unfortunate for Michael Annett. This car has gone through a lot, guys. This is the same car. Now the jack has fallen. The jack has fallen. And the car, the jack is actually on the driver's side door. The team is going to try and lift it up. A little bit of a problem here for Michael Annett. Phil, we talked about this is the same car that was in Iowa during practice session that basically burnt to the ground. They took it back to the shop, built it from the ground up, brought it here to Rockingham. But unfortunate start to the day for Michael Annett.
Yeah, Wendy, as you mentioned,
Up to the hood.
they also had some trouble with an engine. They had a persistent miss that they couldn't find out, so they actually changed engines right before qualifying. So a tough start to this day.
Go.
They need to get out in front of the pace car is their problem. They don't want to get stuck on pit road behind the pace car, and right now it's very close. The lucky dog, the Aaron's lucky dogs, goes to Darrell Basham, as we see some of the slower lap down cars and some of the cars that were involved in this most recent accident making their way onto pit road as well, following Darrell Basham out there. So our first caution of the day has come out at the Rockingham Speedway, the site of the Carolina 500. Joey Logano continues to lead after 14 laps. All-Star Weekend's about here. All starts with the Pit Crew Challenge on May 15th at 9 a.m. Eastern. The following night, the Craftsman Truck Series is in action live on Speed beginning at 7:30 p.m. And, of course, the main event, just 13 days, the Sprint All-Star Race on Saturday, May 17th. Our live coverage begins at 4 p.m. Again, that's Lowe's Motor Speedway, the site of All-Star Weekend. And we're going to have a lot of Craftsman Truck Series practice and qualifying shows on there as well. It's going to be a great, great week on Speed.
Just turn on Speed and just leave it there. Lowe's Motor Speedway is the site, and it's going to be a terrific weekend of racing Friday and Saturday there on Speed.
Again, it all kicks off with that Pit Crew Challenge. Again, we're under our first caution of the day. It happened just after lap 10, and it actually had quite a few cars involved in it, and probably the three predominant cars that we're going to look at are ones that were running up in the top of this field. It was Scott Speed that was involved, Justin Lofton, also Michael Annett in the 28 was involved in it as well. Those three cars were running 1, 2, and 3. Then you see, or 2, 3, and 4, and you see the other cars involved in this, and just a difficult situation on the backstretch.
Yeah, Justin Marks also had a little bit of damage. He's just now coming off pit road after numerous stops.
A lot of damage, though, on this number 2. The 20 down there as well. Lofton. Let's go down and talk with Jim Trano.
Well, guys, Scott Speed has gone in the hauler for a moment. They're tearing off the right front, whatever they can get to, because the lower control arm and all the bolt downs are what they're most concerned about. They are going to change the upper as well. You can see the upper A-frame is bent back and up as well. Crew Chief Patrick Donahue has been calling out calmly orders, but what we need to get done to get this car back out. They're trying to get the right front fixed, and again, climbing in the top 5 in points, and this being the 5th of 21 races, every lap will count here today at the Rock.
They want to get that car back out there again. One of the Eddie Sharp Racing cars in the field today. His teammate Ken Butler III came onto pit road right after Scott Speed was on pit road. Don't know if there was any damage to that car or not, or if they were just making a quick stop.
It looked like Ken had a bit of damage. It didn't look to be too severe, but obviously the Scott Speed Justin Laughlin had a considerable amount of damage.
Take another look at what took place. Again, coming out of turn number 2, the yellow 7 car of A.J. Hendrickson right there starts spinning, and it doesn't look like anybody's around him, and then other cars did the same.
It looked like Justin Laughlin got in the back of the 48 of James Hilton, and then that's what created the smoke when James Hilton got turned around, and that's what blocked the racetrack. See, there's Patrick Shelter with all the damage he has to his Chevrolet, but it looked like Justin Laughlin came off that corner. James Hilton jumped on the throttle. Justin didn't quite have enough warning, ran in the back of him, and that's what happens so often here. It's the aftermath. You know, they may have been able to miss A.J. Hendrickson, but then when Justin Laughlin ran into the back of James Hilton, then that created the aftermath of that incident.
The ripple effect of what took place up in front went all the way back, almost through the entire field. The lucky one that wasn't involved was Joey Logano. He was in front of it all, so he did not have any problems. But a lot of other drivers working on the bodywork of their cars. We'll be back with more of the Carolina 500 right after this.